So my first question is, I mean, I've never actually had to kind of interview two separate bands before, so this is a bit of a new one for me. But how did the tour come about?
I think it started with a conversation between Freddie Hale and Jim Bolt.
Yep.
Okay.
And I know Freddie had gone back and forth with Marty Hill, the guy who founded Preacher Stone, and Freddie and Jim had struck up a good friendship, and the way, you know, it wouldn't be great if we went over there, and you know, we were like, hell yeah, that's impossible. Let's do that, because that's what we like to do. We like to first of all find out if something's possible, and if it is, we're not really interested. But if it's impossible, hell, sign us up. So that's really how it started. And I got to say, from the onset, it's a very organized piece of work, man. I mean, the routing is absolutely pristine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look nice and straightforward.
Yeah, we've sort of proof tested the run around the UK geographically.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of times. We got screwed over big time in when COVID kicked in, of course.
Oh yeah.
We had one nice run around the UK which got completely messed up because of that. But yeah, I mean, we did a shorter, much smaller dual hookup with a band called the Comancheros. They came over from the States what was it, springtime last year, and you know, just 3 gigs, and they just jumped on the back of stuff we were doing, and it kind of made us realize that something, you know, a sort of hookup like we're doing with Ronnie and the guys is absolutely going to work, you know. So and you know, the key thing obviously is the equipment. I mean, it's making sure that that we can at least bring enough gear to cope with the 2 bands for each of the gigs. We'll share everything, and you know, that just makes the logistics a lot easier, especially from the flight's point of view.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm in the process right now of working out, you know, like tonight's assignment is beginning hotel rooms, you know, and it's been fun, and because they've done this route and they know, you know, where they're staying, it's a lot simpler than the audacious task of going, okay, I've never been to this country, let alone this city, and what hotel room sounds nice.
Yeah.
So we like to, you know, just thanks so much for the Sons being so organized, because that is not always the case in this business.
No, I mean, and we've seen your video. I don't know, Joe, if you've you should check it out. There's a real cool video from when the boys came over and did a European tour a few years ago. And I mean, some of the gigs are bloody amazing, and
some are not.
But it captures everything, warts and all. You know,
well, see, that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because we told the guys that put the video together, you know, whatever you do not make this seamless and glossy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we want to see, and now that video is actually funny.
Yes.
It took a couple of years for that video to be completely funny.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And nothing anything that I was mad about or anything, but it's just like you go. That was Wyatt's first year with us, our drummer. That was his first year. You know, Marty started the band, then me, then we got Johnny in like 2012. And I think Jim Bolt came on in 2014, and Ben came on in late 14 or 15. And then Wyatt comes on at the end of 15. And we've all been together since. I mean, it's been the same lineup since. And I think those 19 days in Europe we've kind of figured if we can get through that, I mean, there's no reason to quit.
Yeah. So fingers crossed this end is it's going to be a slightly different experience.
Oh, it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing another kind of video again for this one, or will we see?
We'll probably shoot some things on our own. We won't be bringing a camera because we're shoestringing this one. This is, as we say in the South, this is baling wire and duct tape and penny pinching. We're going to get there, and it's, you know, there's not going to be any frills or anything. It's it's going to be a little, it's going to be really close to the vest. And because what we're hoping to do is this be the beginning of a regular thing.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
And our people at No Bad Dog were kind enough to see the necessity to go and went, okay, well, we'll underwrite this. And, but with record companies, that means you get to pay it back. So,
Yeah.
You want to spend it, you want to spend as much as least as you can.
Yeah. Well, and from a video point of view, we'll probably, there'll be loads of little clips, iPhone shots and stuff on.
Yeah.
You should be able to follow the tour, day by day, hour by hour, just by online posting through the social media channels, and we'll try and make that as much fun as possible.
Yeah, we'll show the fun bits.
Yeah.
And I assume you guys haven't played together at all, but have you been familiar with each other's work for a while? Are you fans of each other, I assume?
Oh, yeah.
We go. Sons of Liberty started off as a sort of Southern rock tribute band, and we played cover versions, So,
cool.
My personal choice was never to do the sort of really obvious, the sort of Skynyrd, we didn't want to do Sweet Home Alabama and things like that. So we were always on the hunt for, I don't want to say smaller bands, but we were always on the hunt for different tracks to put into the set. So we actually played a couple of Preacher Stone songs in our set, going back, I don't know, 2015 maybe, and so that was, I think it was probably through the Sons of Anarchy TV program. Ronnie, was that?
That was we were on Sons of Anarchy 2, season 3 and season 5, and that's where a lot of people heard us. And that being on that opened the door for us to do things like the Skynyrd Simple Man cruise and the Rock Legends cruise, and it's led to us playing a lot of festivals in the States, like Rocklahoma and Rock Ridges up in New Jersey. So that's really helped us. I mean, it's still every once in a while it comes back. I mean, just when you think it's run its course, somebody will get excited. Oh, you guys were on Sons of Anarchy, but it's as I introduce the song every night when we play it. Here's the song that brought us here. We probably wouldn't have met you guys if it hadn't been for this. This song.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how the connection came, and like Ronnie said, and we kind of sort of mutual communication. I think we realized that we're sort of coming from a similar kind of rootsy position. We're not that full on country, and Preacher Stone guys aren't massively country either. We've got that more kind of edgy guitar Southern sound.
We're Southern because we're from the South.
Yeah.
And this accent of mine is real. I mean, I earned it. I didn't go to acting lessons to try to craft it. And I think we get considered Southern because A, we're from the South, and B, I sound like I sound.
Yeah.
And I do most of the talking and most of the singing. But honestly, our influences are all over the place, from Bad Company to Free to Nazareth. I'm probably one of the biggest Thin Lizzy fans ever to live. And so, the music that I love and a lot of the other guys in the band love, I mean, we are just Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. I mean, most of our influences came from your side of the pond, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's, well, somebody said early in our career that we should have called ourselves we were Black Skynyrd. I mean, like Black Sabbath meets Skynyrd.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of Free, a lot of Bad Company type of influence in there, and we're not country. I mean, every once in a while we'll touch on something that's a bit, but that's not who we are.
Yeah.
In Southern rock, I would put us more with Blackfoot and some of the Molly Hatchet, but we're actually a little bit heavier than that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the wheelhouse that we found ourselves in as well, is kind of having gone through that kind of set construction, picking songs that we liked, kind of weird songs from here and there that we thought were a bit Southern sounding maybe, and Blackfoot for me was one of the favorite Southern bands, if you like, but the you know, our influences are exactly the same. It's that like 70s classic rock stuff, you know, and you know, and we've got a couple of songs in our set now that are a bit more sort of AC/DC sounding even, you know, but with that lovely kind of storytelling element, which, you know, I know Ronnie
That's
pulls,
us. I mean,
yeah, Ronnie pulls that out big time as well, and I think that's a massively overlooked part of the Southern rock sound, is kind of the kind of the genuine stories that
songs about real life from real people.
Yeah, exactly right.
And also too, I mean, with singers in this genre, you don't really get the technical prowess that you get with some of the other. It's just storytelling is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it. But you mentioned being familiar with each other stuff. When we started talking about this, I really just dove into everything that was Sons. And, you know, now I've got my favorite songs and my songs that I want to hear when they play, and songs I'm going to sing along with, you know.
Yeah, we'll be sick of each other by the.
Well, no, I don't know about that. Up Shit Creek is one of my favorite songs. I mean,
yeah,
it's on my playlist right now.
Yeah, that always goes down well live. So
it should.
Yeah.
It's a good. I don't know, a good Christian song, you know.
And are we, like, you know, obviously don't spoil anything, but are you guys planning anything special together on the tour? Any, you know, kind of collaboration stuff? Or
I don't know. We're open to about anything. I don't see how you can take two bands like this and not end up
doing something.
Doing something or sharing the stage or something. So
yeah.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially, I mean, last night is, I think, Leo's Red Line.
Right.
Last night of the tour, I think that's going to be a bit of a party. That's, you know, it's as close to London as we came.
Yeah.
So, you know, close-ish for getting the boys back on a plane for flying home.
And we're perfectly adept at flying home wounded. We know that.
Yeah. And of course, first night of the tour is our hometown, you know, Bristol. So we're back on the Thekla.
Which is funny. Bristol. I was talking to my sister over the weekend, and my mother's people, they originated from Bristol.
No way.
Oh, really?
So I mean, yeah. So we're catching Bristol from my mother's family, and Edinburgh from my father's family. So I'm covering it all.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think
it's like the Roots tour, you know.
Yeah. And I think on the day off, we're gonna have a day in Liverpool as well, and go check out the cavern and show the guys some of the kind of sites around you know, where the statues are with the Beatles and stuff.
Oh yeah,
so,
that's what I'm excited about that, because I'm as big a fan, and the guys, everybody in Preacher Stone, we're as big of fans as we are band members.
Yeah.
And to get to go to where some of our heroes and our influences came from, and just to be playing, I can't tell you how excited we are to just be there. We're excited. This is a bucket list thing for us, and we hope to make it a regular deal.
Yeah, and that'd be really cool if that comes off.
And bring you back to the States.
Oh, that'd be great too.
Show you what distance is.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Jacksonville, I've been to Nashville, you know, did a bit of driving around the South, Texas, and you're right. It's kind of, you take a 2-week holiday and you get to see like three places maybe with 400-mile drives in between. So
when we were putting all this together with it, Freddie told Jim, he said, well, there's one drive, it's like 260 miles. And Jim's like, so what? Yeah. That's our first stop, man. You know, anybody need to stop, you know, but it's just, I don't know. We're just excited about being there.
Yeah, we're excited about you coming over. So so the whole thing's going to be it was quite a buzz kicked off. You know, in the press, advertising, like you guys, like Joe, you know, sort of picking up a bit of interest in what's going on, and hopefully we can build on that between now and the first gig kicking off in on the 22nd of March, is it?
22nd of March, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And are you guys both working on new material then? I know it's obviously been a couple of years since the Sun's last album, and it's been a while, right?
It's been a while for us.
Yeah.
No, we're working on number 5 right now.
Yeah.
And we will have released a single in the coming days,
Oh, wow.
and maybe possibly 2 releases before we board the plane to come over.
Yeah, and yeah, we've got musical backing tracks down, so we're halfway through album number 3. We've got no vocals down as yet though, so there's a bit of work still to do before that's sort of fully in the can. And
we're 6 into it.
Yeah, cool.
We're 6 done.
Yeah,
and we've got 4 more to go, and that's the way we've always kind of recorded. We do ours. We work better when we do the whole. We do
the whole track. Yeah,
do a whole track,
Mm.
and then do another whole. But we probably do them, 2 at a time or 4 at a time, and
yeah,
it adds up. And we're about 60% done. We had the first video shot for the first single, and it's ready to go. We just gotta throw it out there.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, we took advantage of like a 2-week window in the studio just before Christmas. So, the songs were well developed musically, backing track wise, but still a bit of work to do on melodies, vocals, lyrics, that kind of thing. So, and we've got some rough ideas. We'll be doing some work with our producer, who's unfortunately on tour himself at the moment.
Yeah,
so, once he gets back in the studio, that will kick back in again, and we'll get that finished. But yeah, I would actually like to work a bit more sequentially, which we haven't ever really been able to do. It's normally been one big hit,
Well, we started working during COVID like everybody else.
Yeah,
and we did a lot of pre-production work, and because we were due out a record, but just life happens.
Yes.
Pandemic shut down, this person ill, this member had a death in the family, this member had it just one thing after another, and then in 2022 in earnest, we said, okay, we're booking the dates. We'd already done the pre-production, and a lot of these songs we've already played live.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it wasn't a case of we'll put together something in the studio. We basically went in literally and recorded live.
Yeah.
Then went back and maybe dubbed a solo. Sometimes kept a solo that literally not just, this is the stuff that legends are made of, but literally some of our guitar parts are just the parts that were on the track that went down scratch. All the rhythms are, and some of the solos are even actually.
That's very cool, man.
Stuff. So we're excited about it, and it hits hard. It's got a lot of impact to it, and we're anxious to see what people think about it.
Yeah, should be bloody good.
I hope so. I think so. Anyway, I'll put it out there. I like it.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously, outside of this tour, have you guys got a dream tour lineup you'd want to be a part of? Anyone immediately spring to mind to, whether you guys want to support them or they support you, or?
Well, realistically, we're going. We've got Rocks, Ribs, and Ridges in New Jersey. We'll be with 38 Special, Blackberry Smoke, Samantha Fish, The Outlaws. It's like Southern rock, who's who.
Yep.
We'll be doing that one. We've got other festivals coming up throughout the eastern part of the United States, and some out into the Midwest, and after we get back from the UK, we'll be back on that run and doing a lot of the US is kind of a lot of weekend runs, to be honest with you, and so we'll be doing those. So that's kind of what we do: get in the van and go.
Yeah. It's kind of, obviously, name dropping Southern Rock Royalty. A lot of those bands have been coming over for one-off tours to the UK, but Blackstone Cherry are definitely a big band for touring the UK and Europe, so they'd be cool to go out and do something with. But we're kind of in the same boat. We've got this little run of gigs in March, and then it's mostly festivals throughout the summer. So again, we did a big slog last year with extensive self-promoted, mostly smaller gigs,
right.
And on the back of that's got us onto the bills of various festivals now throughout the throughout the year. So
That's the goal. I mean,
yeah,
that's one of the many reasons that we're coming over, is that we want to capture people's attention and maybe get a chance to be on some of those festivals. And the guys in Blackstone Cherry, we've done a lot of shows with them. They're good. They're great people. As are John Fred's dad and the guys in the Kentucky Headhunters.
Headhunters,
Wonderful people as well. So it's I don't know. Our idea is, and we may be completely wrong, but I think we're right. We're another band in the United States to a certain degree, because there's so many bands of this ilk, if you will. But in the UK, we kind of have the distinction of sort of being somewhat authentic.
Yep.
Because we're from there.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, I do think the whole Southern rock thing is definitely taken off a lot more over here than it ever has done before.
Yeah.
I've seen more, even full Southern kind of rock festivals and stuff near me have been popping up, which is awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, there's more bands that are touring over here than ever, really.
Yeah, I think we lucked in, just at the point where we started doing original material, 2014, 15 sort of timescale. I think, Cadillac 3, Blackstone Cherry, Brothers Osborne, a number of Southern bands really kicked on big time, from the States over here. And I think we had a couple of visits for Skynyrd as well. And Molly Hatchet came over for a short tour. So it's kind of like, there's a real buzz going to the scene. And then, bands like us, Outlaw Orchestra, Bad Touch, there's kind of, there's a few other sort of British based bands that had that kind of Southern storytelling thing going on as well. And we were able to kind of make the most of that, really. It was timing was perfect, really was.
Well, I kind of view I think that in my own estimation that Preacher Stone and Sons of Liberty are a mirror image of each other. It's kind of the same. There's so many similarities.
Yeah.
That it just works.
Yeah. Because
it's like looking in the mirror to a certain degree. It's the same kind of thing. Even down to the stage plot, pretty much. It's the same.
Yeah. You've got keys which we haven't, and we have used a bit of keys in the studio, and but yeah, you're right. It's kind of especially with the gear share thing, sharing equipment. That's about as perfect as it could possibly be.
Just the personality of the whole thing. So if you're out there and you're not sure, and you see that we're coming to a town near you, you need to get there.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, because we're going to be having a hell of a lot of fun. And if you come, you too can have a hell of a lot of fun with us, because I promise you, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and we're renowned for that as well. So
because we just, I don't know, we play like our lives depend on it every night. Sons play like their lives depend on it every night, and it's going to get hot and sweaty up in there. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I come on out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I spent the weekend in some quiet time on the weekend. I was like I said, I was delving deeper into the catalog, getting my son's songs ready to go, and then looking at our song list, and we're talking like, we got to go over there, man. We got to bring it. It's got to be solid. Everybody be thinking about what it is that we need to play. And it's just fun, because that's what it's all about, man. That's what rock and roll is all about. Everybody works hard, and everybody goes all out just to make the show the best it possibly could be.
Yeah, and I think what Ronnie said earlier absolutely sums it up. It's kind of, we're fans too. We're out there. We go to a festival. We spend 80% of the time watching the other bands. It's okay. We got to go and get ready now, backstage, get changed, whatever it might be. But half the time we'd have been at those festivals if we wouldn't have been invited to play.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah,
without a doubt. And it's like it's what music's all about.
Yeah.
It's the excitement and bringing people together, and the people like yourself in the press that we impress you enough that you say good things, and then more people come later. It's like we always say before we gather together, before we write. Sometimes we do it on stage. we always gather together, and we always, the last thing we say is, you know, don't suck on 3. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
2, 3, don't suck.
You can't afford, these days, with everybody holding the camera up and taking pictures of you and sharing it on the internet, you can't have a bad show,
No.
because if you do,
Yeah,
everybody sees it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I've got anyway. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit and chat.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. It's appreciate the coverage and appreciate the you know, the support of the old country ramble, which is going to be a mighty fine collection of some Southern Rocks celebration on up and down the country, pretty much everywhere. I think a couple of little spots we didn't manage to cover, but
We'll get them next time.
but we'll get them next time. Absolutely right.
Sounds good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm looking at going to the Chesterfield one.
Okay.
I think that's the closest one to me. So
Yeah, real time live. That's a really great. It's a really great venue as well. So nice setup. The loading's a bit of a pain, but yeah, the actual the stage setup there is tremendous. So yeah, it's a good gig to come to. So we'll see you there, man.
Yeah, see you there.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you soon, then, Ronnie. All the
you,
best,
man.
mate. Yeah.
Take
Cheers,
care.
man.
See you
All right.
later.
See you guys.
Found out my woman been sneaking around. Found her a new man from somewhere out of town.